Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Hustle and Hoops team breakdown. Today, we're going to be talking about the New York Knicks. Now, let's just jump right into it. New York Knicks are 41-30, 5th in offensive rating at 116.2, tied 16th in defensive rating at 113.5, highlighted by Emmanuel Quickly, who holds his man to 44% field goal percentage on defense at 11 defensive field goal attempts per game. They were 3rd in rebounding, with Mitchell Robinson in the 96th percentile in contested offensive rebound percentage. They were 6th in defensive rebounding, and despite them being 30th in assists, Jalen and Julius as a combo, as a duo, combined for 161 assists from the paint. They were 4th in turnovers, which is nice, 24th in field goal percentage, and 22nd in three-point percentage. Now, today, we're going to be going back to play types. We're going to be talking about the tendencies of the New York Knicks. Start off with them being 3rd in isolation possessions at 10.8 and 7th in isolation points per possession. Julius Randle was 9th in isolation points per game at 5 points per game. That was 0.6 right behind KD. The New York Knicks were 10th in PNR ball handler possessions at 20.6 and tied 7th in points per possession. Jalen Brunson was 9th in PNR ball handler possessions amongst all players. They were 6th in spot-up possessions at 28.2 and tied 10th in points per possession. Josh Hart, on 2.1 attempts per game, is shooting 60% on catch-and-shoot threes. They were 2nd in drives per game at 56.1 and shooting 49.3% on those drives. This team has one of the best second units in the league. Just a fact. The quality of the next guy up mentality on this team is beyond most other teams' capabilities. And you look at their roster, and we'll start bottom to top, and you look at Miles McBride, not shooting well from the field, but he offensively has very limited opportunities, I guess I would say, and he's there on the offensive end to make open shots and, attack on the closeout, and he's still young, and he brings a ton on the defensive end, a ton. And then, you've got Jericho Sims, a super athletic center, wherever you want to list him. He shoots great from the field. He rebounds very well with that athleticism and good positioning. And, you throw him next to a really high IQ center in Isaiah Hartenstein, however you say it. Throw him next to a really high IQ guy like him, and it allows this front court to do a lot of different things, offensively specifically. And, you can run a lot of different actions, starting with Hartenstein as the handler or the roll man with his level of playmaking and passing. And then you've got Obi Toppin, just an excellent surrounding piece, coming in from Dayton and being just a really solid all-around defensive player who has a little bit more to his offensive game than just like a 3-and-D type of guy. And then you got Josh Hart, like I said, shooting really great from 3 since he came over to the Knicks, and in his 14 games he's shooting 56% from 3, which is pretty nuts. It's only on 2 attempts, but pretty quality. And he's gonna give you the Josh Hart things. I don't have to say that much about Josh Hart. Mitchell Robinson let's keep going with the bench unit, or let's go by what it says on Basketball Reference. We're just going by points per game, by the way. Mitchell Robinson just brings so much on the defensive end as a rim protector and a relatively decent paint protector. He does struggle with getting in foul trouble still, but at the end of the day, a guy who shoots nearly 70% from the field and plays great defense, you're not going to have many gripes with his game. Quentin Grimes. I love watching Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes out of Houston is the wing that you need on this team. An excellent shooter, shooting 35% on 5 attempts. He can, like I said with Miles McBride, but to a much fuller extent. He can attack on the closeouts very, very well. He is an attacker, and he can handle the ball a little bit and play really great defense, really great man defense, on or off ball. That's exactly what you need. Exactly what you need next to Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and Immanuel Quickley. Now, that takes us into our next guy, Immanuel Quickley. In my opinion, the sixth man of the year. Immanuel Quickley is the engine for the bench. He, while Jalen Brunson has been out, has been the engine for this team. You see, in third quarters, late second quarters, but mostly third quarters, when this New York Knicks team can sometimes struggle and other teams can go on runs against them. Immanuel Quickley is the guy to stop that run. And that is just something to commend. That is definitely something to commend. And he plays great defense, absolutely great defense, as I mentioned before, holding his defenders to 44% field goal percentage. And, he's just a fun player to watch. He's a really fun player to watch. Then you got RJ Barrett. I'm not going to say too much about RJ Barrett. It's not really worth my time or your time because you don't want to hear me talk negatively about a player that badly. Because I just don't enjoy watching RJ Barrett play basketball, if I'm being honest. But someone I really enjoy watching play, Jalen Brunson. Now, little sneak peek on the deep dive before we jump to Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson was third in charges drawn per game and fifth in contested threes per game. So when you look at star level guards, there's not many doing it like Brunson. There's not many doing it like Jalen, giving his all on both ends of the floor. Now, Julius Randle was also ninth in total contested threes. So, Julius is both having probably his best offensive season of his career. Like I said earlier, with him being 0.6 points behind KD in isolation points. Julius has a point guard. Julius has a point guard, and with this version of Julius Randle with a all-star Jalen Brunson, because that's what it should have been. An all-star Jalen Brunson is a combo, a duo, whatever you want to say. These two guys can not only score on all three levels, can not only defend at a very high level, but also play off each other so well. You look at the numbers, which we'll get into later, but just watching them play is entertaining and fun. Watching the New York Knicks is fun again, and that is because of Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. That tandem, whether it be in the pick and roll or slip or pop or handoffs, curl screens into the fake pull up back to the screener for the dunk. It is so much fun to watch. It is so much fun to watch. And before we move on completely into the deep dive, jumping back to one more stat, Isaiah Hartenstein was first in box outs, total box outs, and box outs per 36. So, best backup center in the league? I don't know. But that takes us into the deep dive. Now, Jalen Brunson, fifth most double team player in the league, right behind Shea and James Harden at 16.8 double teams per game. Jalen Brunson is respected by his peers, so why not the fans and the media? He was in the 87th percentile in points per possession, the 96th percentile in points over expectation, the 98th percentile in stable transition points per possession, the 98th percentile in stable PNR ball handler points per possession, the 90th percentile in stable PNR roll man points per possession, the 90th percentile in stable spot-up points per possession, 79th percentile in stable post-up points per possession, the 99th percentile in stable ISO points per possession, and the 93rd percentile in handoff points per possession. Shooting 50% from the short mid and 47% from the long mid. Jalen Brunson is one of the premier scorers inside of the arc. He was in the 100th percentile in floater shot creation. The king of floater shot creation. And damn near in floater shot making, as he was in the 99th percentile in floater shot making. And the 87th percentile in mid-range pull-up shot quality, 99th percentile in mid-range pull-up shot creation, and 98th percentile in mid-range pull-up shot making. He was in the 24th percentile in mid-range shot quality, the 100th percentile in mid-range shot creation, so he is the mid-range shot and floater shot creation king and the 99th percentile in mid-range shot making. So he's in the 99th percentile in both mid-range and floater shot making. He's got so many moves. Once he has you beat or crabbed or posted up, it's just a matter of time before he finds a way to get his shot off. Now, despite being one of the best isolation scorers in the league, Jalen still finds and gets his teammates involved at an astronomical level. Between Jalen and 7 of his other teammates, Jalen is the ball handler on 45.7 ball screens per game. 45.7 per game with 7 other guys. He was in the 91st percentile in assist points per 75, the 84th percentile in potential assists per 100 passes, the 92nd percentile in passing creation, the 99th percentile in passing efficiency, and the 97th percentile in box creation. Jalen Brunson has unlocked New York's potential. Jalen Brunson is the key to New York's success. Simple. They haven't had a point guard in like fucking 15 years, 12 years. So you bring in Jalen Brunson, and now y'all play the Cavs, most likely. I cannot fucking wait for that series. I, for one, am going to be tuning into every second of that series. I don't know. Hope y'all enjoyed. Chicken wraps. Peace. Oh, keep the 550s. This shit. Yeah. Ugh.